Okay, exciting day. Welcome back. Check it out. Got a new subframe. So let me drag it in here and let's check it out. Drag it in here. Let's check it out. It's in some nice shape. Benzene Auto Parts. Rancho Cordova, California. Benzene Auto Parts. In case anybody needs to look one up. We will see in just a minute if their auto parts are any good or not. Alright, let's check it out. Whoa! Check this thing out. Looks brand new. I know it's used. I bought it used, but boy, it looks brand spanking new. Look at that. Let's see. They didn't leave the plastic pieces on that I wanted, unfortunately, for the parking brake cable. But no big deal. Yeah. No rust on it, that's for sure. Looks brand new. Yeah, I mean, it looks brand new. I mean, they clearly painted it. You know, after it came off the car, it was painted. I'm trying to look at mine and look at this one to see. That they're the same. Okay, so I took out all the bolts that I loosened the other day, and you know, the thing's basically loose now. It's just kind of sitting there. I mean, my original plan was to, you know, sand these things down a little bit and paint them. But man, that thing, well, it doesn't need painted. It's like brand new. So I'm thinking, you know, most of these parts are aluminum. You know, there's that A-arm thing. I could probably sand it down and paint it, but then I'd have nothing to do tomorrow. Unless I just sanded it down and painted it, and then just gave it an hour to dry and put it on. But, yeah. So it's coming apart. So I just took all those bolts out that I loosened, and then this side, see, I was starting to take this A-arm off, and I couldn't decide if I want to take it off to paint it or not, because it's really the only piece of metal, the only piece of steel. You know, all these arms are aluminum, so it's really the only piece of steel, and it does have a little bit of rust on it. So it might be worth taking off and painting. If I do that first thing tomorrow morning and then deal with the rest of it, get this differential out of here, get it mounted in there while these are drying, yeah, maybe I'll do that. Yeah, okay, I'm going to continue taking that off. And look, see, the axle popped right out of there. As soon as I got these apart, it popped right out. So I can probably, you know, pull this whole thing off right now. Yeah, see, it's coming apart. Here, let me get the camera set up and I'll get right back to you. Okay, pull this thing apart. Wow, look at that. Huh? That's it. And half of it came right off. Okay, let's see it come apart. These off, should just slide right out. There it is. There it is. bought this wheel thing for stripping the paint and rust off. We'll see how it does. Okay, trusty DeWalt. I sure wish I had a workbench because my back would like it. I have a workbench. All right, I think I'll do a little hand sanding and I'll be ready to paint. There's my little makeshift spray booth. Hitting it with some primer. Got one coat on already. Just kind of hanging them here. Got some wire. So I sprayed one coat on them. I'll spray another coat in, I don't know, half an hour or something. And then I think it said it needs an hour before you paint over the primer, so give it an hour and then I'll show you the painting process. Here's what I got. Came back to the store. Let's check out some goodies. I got these, which are apparently Master Triple Square Bit Set. These are supposed to fit these crazy bolts that I've never seen before. And I got a bunch of bolts. Some Loctite. I figured I should probably Loctite these bolts, you know, I don't know. Subframe bolts. They kind of look like they had Loctite. Got new bolts for the exhaust clamp. 2 bolts for the speed sensor I broke off. And that's it. I'll be darned. There it is. Okay, I think I got everything I needed off of this old one. I'll strip down. Got that bolted on, rear end bolted on, the new one. So now I'm going to put this first wheel hub assembly. Just going to start bolting it on there. Be fine. The new one has these different kind of brackets. Reference for those of you who are also doing this and have commented. You know, this must be a newer model here. The old one just had a metal clamp that this thing slid into. This one just has a plastic thing that I'll show you when I go to put it on, how it just kind of clamps on it. So a little bit different there, but slightly different in some way. You see, I still have a bit of gap here. And everything's bolted on except for the A-arm that goes from here to here. You can see it? Okay, so there's a bracket here. This thing is not used anymore because it's a different kind of bracket. I'll just push it out of the way so you can see how you just push in and it just holds it there. It just keeps it from vibrating around, really, I think, you know. This thing I could cut. Okay, figured something out here. These axles, they're just compressed all the way. And they just don't slide in very easy. Can you see that? So I just took a mallet on the other side. I kind of heard a click, so that makes me think I got it in good. So yeah, there's that. Okay, got everything bolted on. Tights, bolts are all tight. It's Halloween, so I sat a chair with candy there. And there they are. Okay, they've only been painted for like an hour, but they dry to the touch, so I'll just carefully bolt them on there. I'm sure it'll be fine. So there we go. Okay, what do you think? You like the red? I like it. Okay, so I did a little bit of work. I wasn't recording because my memory card was full. So I'm getting ready to put this in, so I'm going to show you what's up. Okay, so I got the shocks bolted back on down here. They're ready to go in. Springs are kind of sitting there. That parking brake cable I know is going to be a pain in the butt, but really can't do nothing to it until I might be able to now. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe now that I know how it goes together, it might be better off just wait until it's up in there, because then the cable will be longer. Yeah, so I'm going to keep jacking it up in there. So, check it out. You like the red, or should I stay all black? Leave me comments. Okay. Oh, you know what? I gotta get that drive shaft. Okay, I forget where I left off with the videoing yesterday, but here's what I got. So if you remember, the shock bolts are in here. Those two bolts, I can't even see it, it's too dark. Got the nuts put on for the shocks. I just got to stuff all these things back together in the trunk. Actually, the parking brake cable went back on really easy. I don't know what the deal was with that, but you can't really see much in there from this point. But yeah, see, I got the shocks. Shocks all reinstalled. Springs, actually the spring's a little tip maybe, I don't know. I had them sitting in there, but there's a piece of rubber up in here that fits right on the spring, you know, because the last coil of the spring's kind of sticking up. So if you got to take that piece of rubber out so that you get it on in the right orientation, so that it like fits into that. Otherwise, it, you know, that last coil, the spring might be on the thick part instead of the thin part. I don't know if you know what I mean, because I had it like that at first. But then luckily one of them, if it fell out, the spring fell out and it popped that thing out. And then I realized, oh, you got to put this rubber thing on the right orientation so that everything fits evenly. Anyhow, thought I'd mention that for you guys that are putting these back together. What else? Yeah, everything bolted in. I did use blue Loctite on all the bolts. I don't know if you're supposed to or not, but I figured it can't hurt. Hopefully I never have to take it back apart. Yeah, you know, the brakes, everything's typical stuff, you know. Brakes all went back together good. The bolts for the that I broke off for the wheel speed sensor, you can see there. You know, I just bought a new bolt the same size and length, bolted those on. I did actually have a problem with the wheel speed sensor before I tore this apart. I think I got a bad one somewhere. But for now, I just put the ones in there. I thought about just buying new ones and replacing them, but I just put those in. They're easy enough to change if it turns out that one of these back ones are bad. So I think I'm ready to put the exhaust on. All right, I got the drive shaft. You're really missing a whole lot, you know, once I got going with it. I got the drive shaft bolts back on. I did leak a little bit of rear end gear oil over there on the floor whenever I was, you know, pulled the axles out. But it wasn't much. I'm not too sure. I mean, that's probably a bolt right there to check the level. I should probably check the level. Pull that nut out. Actually, now would probably be a good time for that before the exhaust is in my way. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna do that. Pull that nut out just to make sure my level's good. And I think I'm ready for the exhaust. Okay, well, apparently that is a huge Allen wrench. I don't have one. So I'm gonna have to wait on that. I'm really confident. I'm gonna put the exhaust on, get the wheels on. I got these bolts right here. You can see this. Hang on, stupid. These bolts right here have, as you rotate them, they move the wheels in and out, you know, for the alignment. So I left them a little bit loose. Once I put the tires on, I'll measure from the front edge of the tires to the back edge of the tires and adjust those, one on each side, to you know, get the tires tracking pretty straight until I get it to the alignment. Okay, so to check this alignment, you know, I was going to measure from the back side across the two tires and the front side of the two tires across. But that, you know, that'll get me parallel if they're both parallel, but they both might be like this. And so the car is going to get on the road like this, you know. So I want to try to get them straight with the car if I can. So my thoughts for that is I just got my 4-foot, my 4-foot level here. And what I'm trying to do, like, I don't know, you can't really, if this reached all the way to the front tire, I could straighten the front wheel, and then I could really tell if it was straight, but what I'm going to do is just hold this on here and see where it touches on the body line right here. This lighting in here is so bad. Like, I'd have thought at least see this. So put this on the tire, and I can see, if you look straight down on it, just barely off of that body line. So I figured if I made them both the same, let's come over to this side. If they were both the same, then I could check the distance between the front and back of the tire, and if it's off, adjust it by the same amount on each side. Yeah, see this one, you can see this. This stupid camera keeps turning the LED screen off, so I can't see if I'm pointing at anything or not. Okay, so this side, I mean, I can see just looking at it that wheel, the front of that wheel is angled in. See? Hang on a second, let me fix up my lighting. Okay. Ran some drywall screws into that thing, hung it from there. Okay, so now this one, when I put this straight edge on here, it actually hits. It actually hits the bodywork there instead of being away from it a little bit. So you can see it's like that. So this wheel, and even just looking down the car, can't really tell on the camera, but looking with your naked eye, I could see this front of this wheel is way in. So let me adjust that out a little bit. Let's just see where we are underneath here. One tire over there. Here. This is kind of hard to do too, because I would say that's about 47 7/8. About 47 7/8. And then front of it, I don't know if you guys can still see. In the front of the tire, let's reach it. That looks to me like 48. Maybe even a little more. I gotta get this light out of my chest. I'm gonna put it somewhere so it still shines. Well, I got some serious editing to do on this video, huh? Okay. Okay. That looks like, trying to just eyeball down the tire, looks like about 48 and an 1/8. 48 heavy. 48 and a 16th. So the front is actually farther apart than the back. Well, I was thinking I was going to have to move this front out, which would make it even farther apart. So maybe I need to move that one in. Let me tune that one in a little bit. Okay, let me get ready for that. Okay, I just learned something really crappy. All right, so this is the bolt you have to turn. I don't know if you can see it. Very good. This is the bolt you have to turn to move this in and out. But this fancy new socket thing I had to buy goes on this end, but doesn't fit between the gas tank and that. Maybe this is just the wrong size one. I think that's it though. Let's see, I know it was the same size as this. Yeah, that's it. Why would they do that? Why would they make it so you can't align this with the rear end in the car? Of course, everywhere I put my hand with the camera, it blocks the light, so you can't see me. Well, I guess if this was shorter, it would fit in there. Wonder if I just turn the nut, if it'll rotate that, because that's all I'm doing until I take it to the alignment shop anyhow. I mean, I would think the alignment shop would have the tool to adjust that. Okay, let me get a wrench. Okay, so luckily it does. Right, so you can watch what's happening here. If you can see that. In, out. Moving the wheel in and out. I don't know where to put it, but I'm going to move that one in. Just I'm going to go back and forth checking the tires, checking with the straight edge, then checking the distance between the tires, checking the straight edge. I'm going to go back and forth through that a bunch of times to see what I come up with, and I'll catch up with you then.